بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of the book Ta'aleem wa Tarbiyat dar Islam, Training and Education in Islam by the late Ayatollah Mutahhari Rahmatullah alayh. This is the third session. We are talking about different theories on what makes an action a moral action. So Ayatollah Mutahhari refers then to idea of people like Bertrand Russell. Their idea is very much against what Kant wants to, suggest. You remember we said Kant is against reducing ethics to prudence. Kant says that if you, as a shopkeeper, give good services, good price, good treatment to your customers, to your clients, so that you increase your profit, this is not akhlaq, this is prudence. Akhlaq means to do these things regardless of the consequences. This was Kant's idea. But people who are like Bertrand Russell and some other materialist thinkers, they say that ethics starts when we try to be farsighted, when we try to avoid bad consequences in future. For example, Ayatollah Mutahhari says, if a person in village wants to decide what would be a good course of action, a moral course of action about stealing a cow that belongs to the neighbor, he would think, if I steal a cow that belongs to my neighbor, then tomorrow the same person or another person would steal my cow and maybe my cows. Maybe I steal one, they will steal from me two or more. So it's better I don't do this. And it's better if we all agree on not stealing each other's properties and belongings, because then we cannot live in this society, to be miserable. So it's better to reduce our short-term, profits by robbing, stealing, cheating, so that in the long term we can have more manageable and more respectful life. Or, for example, about telling lies. If I tell lies to people because they suit me, they can avoid problems, or they can bring some, interest to me. So if I tell lies to people because it suits me, then others will tell lies to me because it can suit them. Then I'm going to suffer. I'm going to lose. I cannot trust anyone. I cannot make decisions. So it's better I don't tell them lies so that they don't also tell lies to me. So it's a kind of reciprocating, this kind of treatment. Ayatollah Mutahari says that one of the persons that maybe used to be in that meeting, he calls him Aghay Muzayyani. He said, when he was employed in an office, someone in that office said, when I am tired, or for example, I'm very hungry, I may say bad words, rude words. Please don't feel offended. This person realized or thought that this person from beginning wants to establish a norm that he can say what he wants, and is using tiredness, hunger, etc. as excuse. So he said, okay, thank you for telling me this. I should also share with you now something about myself, because you were honest with me. That if I get upset, especially if someone says something rude to me, I may throw something to their face. Maybe I take something on the desk and throw that at their face. So he said that person realized that he can never, be doing mischief with me. So he realized that there are consequences. So he behaved himself. Therefore, in akhlaq, according to Bertrand Russell, people make calculations and negotiations, and they see in the long term it's better if they act morally, if they are not cheating or robbing, etc., so that others also would give them the same treatment. So they reduce akhlaq to such level of just negotiation and making implicit or explicit contracts. The problem with this, as we mentioned also another time, was that it empties akhlaq from any sacredness, from any transcendence. Akhlaq becomes just like a law. Two neighboring countries may agree on certain international laws or bilateral laws, so that none of them would invade the others or disregard the rights and interests of others, etc. It is not by itself akhlaq. This doesn't mean that you are acting virtuously. This means you have to do this because there are consequences. If someone derives nicely because he just doesn't want to get fined, he doesn't want to receive penalty, it's not moral. To derive morally means even if there is no penalty, even if there is no police, you derive nicely. So they empty akhlaq from transcendence, from sacredness, and also this type of approach then is unable to explain why a powerful party should treat the weaker party equally. If there are two parties, two countries, two groups of people, two, I don't know, companies. Anyway, when there are two parties working with each other as individuals, groups, organizations, companies, countries, etc., if they are equal, then they can say, okay, we have to respect others so that they respect us. But if one is so powerful that is sure that he can rob from the other party, but they cannot rob me because I have lots of, gangsters, for example. I can steal cows of people in the village and no one can come after me because I have hired, guards, etc. Then why he should not steal their cows? I can tell them lies, but if they tell lie, I bring them to the court, for example. So if akhlaq is reduced to negotiation and contracts, then it can only work when there are equal parties, people who are the same level of political power or military power or financial power, etc. Therefore, Ayatollah Mutahhari says, although Russell himself was very much talking about peace and love for other human beings, but this type of philosophy would damage morality and would not be able to control people who have power or countries who have power, etc. The other theory that he studies is the theory that says, in the same way that we have physical or empirical beauty, beauty of a flower, beauty of a natural, sight, beauty of people. Some people are very beautiful, some people are less beautiful. We have empirical beauty, and this beauty is very difficult for us to articulate what makes something beautiful. You can say it's subjective, but it's not all subjective. No, because most of people share the same understanding. If you show a nice flower to 1,000 individuals, maybe 990 of them say it's beautiful. Yes, there are always people who may have art, feelings, but it's not subjective. But to explain, it's very difficult. For sure, what many philosophers have said, part of the reason for beauty is harmony. Harmony is very important. To have certain percentage of certain things is very important. For example, if you are painting, if there is no harmony, if you use too much of one color and then it doesn't fit into the whole thing, there are problems. Balance, harmony are very much needed, but it's very difficult to formulate it because there are lots of factors, and it's very difficult for you to explain why you say, for example, this person is beautiful. You want to describe it, it's very difficult. You feel it, it's very difficult to describe, but for sure part of it is harmony. Now, some people say, in addition to this physical, empirical beauty that we can see with our eyes, for example, and we can extend it also to, for example, fragrances, or, for example, touch, for example, something has nice touch, for example. So it's not visual, but we can extend it to other forms of empirical beauty and, being nice. But in addition to all this, we have a spiritual, ethical beauty. And this is also a matter of harmony and balance. When we see something like a flower, we love it because it's beautiful. Also, when we are faced with a person whose character is beautiful, again, we love, we admire. And sometimes we want to get close to this person. For example, if you find a virtuous person that he has established balance in every faculty of the soul. Some of you may have studied in philosophical approach to ethics. I have discussed it in self-development and other places. That they say we have three faculties in our soul: faculty of anger, faculty of appetite, faculty of reasoning. And each of them has virtues and vices. The virtue is the balance, the middle position. The vices are extremes on the both sides, going too much or too little. For example, if someone is in a balanced position with respect to the faculty for anger, means he's brave. Shaja'a is the middle position, is the virtue. If you are too violent, too aggressive, this is not good. This is not shaja'a. If someone is always ready to fight, not ready in the sense that is prepared to fight when needed. No, is always, trying to fight. Every day goes out to fight with someone. It's not good. And if someone is very passive, very indifferent, whatever people do to him, he would not react. This is also bad. These are two extremes. The middle position is bravery. A person who is brave, when needed, defends himself, his cause, his people, etc. But when there's no need, he's calm. For appetite, for shahwa, al-quwwat al-shahawiyya, the middle position is iffa, chastity and modesty. If it is too active, they call it sharah. For example, in eating, he is never satisfied. In sexual relation, is never satisfied. Or if someone has no appetite at all, both extremes are not good. Iffa is good. In quwwatul aqila, the middle position is hikmah, wisdom. If someone is too critical and can never make any opinion, this is bad. If someone is too passive, whatever he hears, accepts, no questioning, no arguing, no evaluation, this is also a problem. So when you establish balance in every faculty, then they say you have reached adal, justice. Justice is when a person has completely established balance in himself or herself from every aspect. So this balance, this harmony in akhlaq is very beautiful, but spiritually beautiful. It's not like beauty of face, like beauty of flower, like beauty of a scenery, but it has the same attraction or even more. This is why when, for example, we read or we meet awliyaullah, friends of Allah, we are attracted to them, we love them, we love their akhlaq, their behavior. Even sometimes meeting them once can leave enduring impact on us. There is great attraction. Our soul is, very much eager for this kind of beauty as well. So they say akhlaq is to reach this kind of harmony and make this kind of beauty. After this, Ayatollah Mutahari has a discussion about the role of religion. One of the topics that is discussed in ethics and in philosophy of religion too is the relation between religion and ethics. What's the relation between religion and ethics? Different theories here. Ayatollah Mutahari says, if we empty akhlaq, ethics, from religion and faith and our devotion to God, akhlaq would be very weak. I can put it in this way. You know, it's not exactly mentioned, but I'm sure this is the way he thinks based on other books that he has. We believe that certain fundamental values and principles of akhlaq are understandable by all human beings. You know, we believe in husn khulq zati and aqli. We believe that goodness and badness are real, are objective, and our reason can understand them if it has enough information. So you don't need to be religious so that you know that justice is good, injustice is bad. You don't need to be religious to know that you should not annoy people, should not hurt innocent people, you should not take money of orphans, for example. Everyone understands this. It's husn khulq aqli. Ash'arites had problem with this, but Shiites and Mu'tazilites, they had this idea. In Christianity, Judaism, also this controversy was there. Some people were in favor of what they call divine command theory, like Ash'arites. Some people were saying, no, we can understand morality as an objective thing, but maybe we don't have enough information, so we need the religion. But it's not that we don't understand anything. Even theologians, Shia theologians, argue that if there were no rational assessments for ethics, we were not even able to establish religion, the truth of religion. Because one important requirement to understand that what this person who claims to be a prophet and has miracles is true is to say that God is not going to misguide us by giving miraculous power to someone who is lying, someone who is, who is cheating. Yeah, he has mu'jiza, but someone may say, why I should listen to what he says? Maybe God has given him mu'jiza to misguide us. You cannot say this is not what the Bible says, this is not what the Quran says, because still you have not established this. It's the beginning of the inquiry. We refute this possibility by rational arguments, by saying that God, who has these qualities, would not misguide. So if you don't believe in ability of reason in establishing certain facts, then whole structure of religion would not be able to be established. So in some books like Baba Hadi Ash or Tajreed, they say if you deny husn khulq zati and aqli, then you would deny husn khulq shari as well. In any case, this is a discussion. Our idea is that every person can understand fundamental values, main principles of akhlaq by themselves. And this brings them to religion, this brings them to observing values, even if they are atheists. Imam Hussein alayhi salam, on the day of Ashura, when he saw that some soldiers of enemy are going towards the tents, he said, "Illam lakun lakum din, wa kuntum la takhafun al-ma'ad, fakunu ahraran fi dunya." If you don't have faith and you don't have fear for the akhirah, at least in your worldly life, be noble, be free and noble. So you don't need to be religious so that you understand attacking women and innocent people like children is bad. You understand it by yourself. So we say without a religion, we can understand certain principles, but Religion opens a new horizon for us. Lots of details, lots of new things we can understand through religion, especially how to organize these values, how to prioritize, what to do when there is conflict. And also religion provides us with sanction. Sometimes you know something is good, but you don't have enough willpower, adequate energy and willpower to do what is right. Religion also gives us power, gives us, sanction through its own system of, reward and punishment, etc. So, can we have ethics without religion? Yes. In theory, yes. In practice, many people, after losing faith, unfortunately, they have lost also even those fundamental values. Many people, but not all people. They are people who are not religious, but they observe certain values. So it's possible. But if you look at the large scale, not exceptions, not certain individuals, if you look at the large scale, you see that in the recent centuries, when religious devotions have gone down, ethics has also gone down. If you look at societies that are not religious anymore, then you will see that there are more problems also with akhlaq. So, without religion, there can be still, theoretically at least, akhlaq, but the religion brings sanctions and teaches us lots of other things. The other issue is, which is going to be discussed in details in this book, is relativism. Is morality relative or not? Relativism, just to prepare your mind, he has a little discussion here, but then he has a section, a lesson on it. Relativism is the idea, very briefly, is the idea that says there is no single true morality, or there is no single true or most justified morality. There can be more than one true or justified morality. For one individual, something can be good. For another individual, something else, if it is individual relativism. If it is cultural relativism, means from one culture to another culture, ethics can vary. For some people, slavery can be good. For some people, slavery can be bad. This is relativism. In the United States, during the Civil War, so northern states were against slavery, southern states were in favor of slavery. If you are a relativist, you may say, okay, both of them were right. For those in the north, slavery was bad. Those in the south, because they had big farms, they needed labor, etc., slavery was good, if you are a relative. Or you may say, when slavery was there was good, now the society has reached the point that they should abandon it. Now slavery is bad. There are different grounds for relativism. In any case, relativism says that there is no single true morality or no single most justified morality. There can be more than one position and they can be equally valid. Inshallah, we will see in future, there is descriptive ethical relativism, there is meta-ethical relativism, there is normative ethical relativism. We will discuss some of it. If you are interested in this topic, I just had a few sessions on ethical relativism in the recent course on moral philosophy. So last week was, last Tuesday was the last session. So the last 3-4 sessions on ethical relativism. Inshallah, we will talk about it more. So we can stop here, and if there are any questions or comments, inshallah, we can receive. Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen.
For any questions, please raise hand in Zoom. So looks like the lecture was very well understood, so there are no questions. So please conclude and make dua.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma kulli waliyyaka al-Hujjat ibn al-Hasan. Salawatuka alayhi wa ala aba'ih. في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك وتمتعه فيها طويلا وامن علينا برضاه وهب لنا رأفته ورحمته ودعاءه وخيره. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم اشف مرضانا. اللهم ارحم موتانا. اللهم اقض حوائجنا. اللهم أغننا من الفقر. اللهم أد عنا الدين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. May Allah inshallah grant your hajat and hajat of mu'mineen and enable you to overcome obstacles. ببركة الصلوات على محمد وآل محمد. التماس دعاء please.
Jazakallah.